the Purview portal. On the Defender part, I mean, again, we just just want to, before Purview, just remember when we went here. So this home screen is giving you a lot of insights, right? Check it. But what we covered in this page was a score, right? Remember, but there is much more here you can check. Now let's go to Purview. So when I go to Purview, let's just view all solutions. There is a lot of capability built into this, and if you want to, see actually what's we have some guide and best practice deployment blueprint, and you can of course you can reach out and then get those. But for today, what we are, especially for the business premium. So what you see here, a lot of products, but the key part of the Purview is about, everything starts with classification, right? Know your data. It's like when you go to Purview portal, and let's say you go to information protection for this part, or you can just go here, all solution information protection, or you can just go to solutions, and from solutions you can go and have information protection. Where is information protection? Okay, I just use this one. I don't know if I have to explore all and then see that. Okay, so this is information protection. My tenant is not showing all for some reason. Let me see. Oh, sorry, I'm in data security investigation, not the. Let's just go there. I need to go information protection where I was. This one. Why my portal is putting up? Data loss prevention. Okay, I'm actually the right place. For some reason, it's weird because I don't know why my portal something. Let me just refresh. This is not the first time this happened to me. Yeah, it's just refreshed and it's true. So when you go here, it's there are first you can go to Explorer, and then in Explorer you can go to Data Explorer. This usually gives you about the visibility to actually what type of information you have in your cloud. You don't have to do anything. It just there says you have maybe this info type in your OneDrive, in SharePoint, in Teams, like that. So think of like documents with credit card information, documents with personal information or passport information, something like that. So this is usually, it's there. So if you go there, you should see that, right? So this is just think of like know your data. And if you don't have any, we in the Purview, first of all, it's like it goes to based on the sensitive info type, built-in sensitive info type, like credit card or financial info, personal information. There are a lot of info, sensitive info type there, and we can detect in the documents and communications. But if you have any specifics, for example, I have project ABC, project Obsidian, and then you want to have any documents refer to that project, you want to define it as sensitive type, you can do it. Or there is a tax form by my Indian government, and you want to have that tax form as a fingerprinted, and then says this form is having this form filled or unfilled is going to be sensitive type, right? You can do that. So it's like, so think of sensitive info, defining your sensitive info type, or if you don't know what info type to have, you just go to whatever is available, financial. But what this is good for is about where you have the data, which can be maybe important for your business, right? And now the next part is sensitive label. This is the most critical piece, I say, in the Purview deployment. What happens is you say, at the end of the day, if this email I'm sending is confidential or if not, is it personal, is it public, is it confidential, is the Word document, Excel documents, everything in that SharePoint documents, right? Is it like, what is that? Is it confidential or not? So what happened here, you go there and then say define sensitive label. So it's like you have the taxonomy there. This is usually what you see, the recommendation. In the confidential, you have different, and then in highly confidential, you can define the label. And now if I go to, let's say, let me just go to Office. I just give you 2 minutes here and then show you this, because of course, each of this is going to be at least 1 hour session, right? I'm just quickly showing you. Actually, let me just go to Word. Yeah, it's more about showing you how easily you can, just by this part I just showed you, you can apply some protection. Now, if I go and then create, let's say, new documents. When you have any new documents, and then you can do tag it. Think of like tagging. This is now labeled as confidential all employees. Now, there are capability in Intune which can, if in the, let's say, in scenario where no longer, let me think correct. A scenario like, for example, this is again, we don't have in the business premium, but again, it's just think of when I type something which is can define a policy. So this automatically, I think, is applied the label. It's still not, so it's automatically applied, you see. So you can have the auto label policies on the P2, but even if you don't have it, what you can do, but why I showed you this, think of, you define the label in Purview, and then for the label policy, you can say every user who create a Word document or Office documents by default is going to be confidential. So it means by default, every document created today is going to be confidential. And then in the mail flow, DLP flow for Exchange, you can say the confidential document cannot be shared externally, right? Easy. You can do it now with Business Premium and then have something in place. So if the document can be shared publicly, they have to remove the label, and then they can, this all going to be logged, right? And then if you want to also have highly confidential, protecting the document, even it's copied to USB, shared with someone, no one be able to open it, you can do it even with the Business Premium. You can apply label which support encryption, like protection, and then that protected documents is going to be protected wherever it is, regardless of shared online, through USB, offline access, whatever, right? It's going to be there. So there is a lot in Purview, but it's start with sensitive info type and the label. And the label is where you decide, okay, if the file has this label, right? Shared through WhatsApp, blocked. Shared through Telegram, blocked. You want to copy to USB, block. So all the policy later you define in DLP is to use the label or sensitive info type to make a decision, right? Okay, this is for today. And again, here is a lot of other stuff there, even like, remember in the conditional access, we talked about the data, user risk from the data perspective, all is going to be here, you define here, and again, there is a signal sharing in identity. Sorry, I had to go through a lot of different contexts. It's just in a short period of time, I had to go to cover a lot of other products, Intune, Entra, the Defender, and then Purview. I know it's a lot, but my goal was to understand the holistic view of how this works in protecting the user data, device, and app. Thank you.